Now, you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWine Radio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes Radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there.
Hello, my name is Julius Angelini. I'm the owner of the Angelini Estate Winery in Marche, Italy, and I'm also the president of Angelini Wine Ltd., an importer and distributor of fine Italian products. You can get more information on our website at www.angeliniwine.com.
Today on Wine and Dine, we're going to meet Julius Angelini, who, along with his brother, are owners of Angelini Estate in the Marche region of Italy and Angelini Wine Imports based out of Centerbrook, Connecticut. And along with their mother, they sent out a wonderful family dish that I'm going to put a link up for you as well, that is perfect pairing with the Angelini Estate Sangiovese. Who doesn't like cooking this time of year? But in particular, what I'd like to share with you about is in his capacity as an importer, he represents the Carpene sparkling wine house out of Italy, and we're going to be talking about the Prosecco Brut, the Brut Rosé, and a very unusual, at least for me, unusual first-time experience in a Kerner Brut. And Julius, thank you so very much for joining us today on Wine and Dine. How long have you been in the United States as an importer?
Well, we started the company in 1986, so it's
time.
Probably more than I would like to think about.
Wow! So do you divide your time between Italy and Connecticut or the United States?
Yeah, my brother does more of the traveling actually right now. I have a 4-year-old, and that's taken up some of the time. But we go back and forth quite a bit. My parents are still alive, and the farm actually is about 200 acres of a family farm, and we have about 7-8 acres of vineyards right now on there. So it's just a regular working farm that over the years we've changed a little bit here and there, and we planted our own vineyards in '99 and 2001. So it's fairly new from that point of view. My grandfather used to make wine, and used to sell in the old demijohns back back in the back in the 30s and 40s and 50s, and all the way through. So
wow, how many different brands or winery names do you have in your portfolio?
Probably like 25, 30. We really specialize in mostly smaller family-owned businesses.
Okay.
And actually, Carpene Malvolti is our probably the biggest winery that we represent, but they're still a family-run business. Carpene is the principal, and even though they're a big company, they're totally family-owned.
And where is that winery based out of?
It's actually in the heart of Conegliano. The Prosecco, the traditional Prosecco area is Conegliano and Valdobbiadene, and it's northwest of Venice, if you want to look at it from that point of view, up in the hills. And their winery is actually based in downtown Conegliano. Beautiful facility, old style kind of thing.
Last night we tried the Pinot Or I should say the rosé, the Brut Rosé.
Yeah, exactly.
With 85% Pinot Nero and 15% Raboso. What is Raboso?
Raboso is a blending grape from Veneto.
Okay.
It has a little bit more body and color. So it's always been used, historically in the area. You never see it by itself, but it's always they have a lot of Pinot Nero, Merlot, and Cab in Veneto, and Raboso was always like a mixing grape.
The color of this Brut Rosé is just phenomenally pink.
Yeah, that's from the Raboso because obviously Pinot Nero also has, some color issues. Let's say it's a little bit lighter in color, and I think that's what the Raboso does. Gives a little bit of that extra that sparkle almost in the rosé.
It's so festive this time of year. It's just such a festive appearance in the glass. Now, so many Americans are familiar with Prosecco, and this Carpene Malvolti is from the heart of with the Conegliano, as you said, it's DOCG, yes. And the pricing of approximately $20 national suggested retail is very reasonable.
Yes, for the quality. Now, just without getting too much detail, they've opened up the spigot for Prosecco about 5 years ago. The area before traditionally was only this part of Veneto, this part of Italy. Now Prosecco can be grown from basically Yugoslavia, from Friuli all the way to the west part of Veneto. So, but Prosecco really grows best in the Conegliano, Altobiadene. The hillsides are phenomenal. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the long run because everything's done by hand, and you have a lot of older people working these things. So, but yes. This is still the heart, and this is why everybody should look at DOCG when they're talking about Prosecco.
Yeah, precisely. The winemaker Antonio Spinazzi, is it Spinazzi?
Spinazzi, yeah.
Spinazzi. His name sounds so familiar to me.
He's done a lot of, he's been with the Carpene as far as I can remember, but he's involved in a lot of things because the Carpene is really a leader in sparkling wine. So they've done a lot of research. So he's probably done even magazines and books and things like that.
Now this is very unusual to me, and this will be the first time ever having a sparkling Kerner.
Oh yes,
100% Kerner grape. Could you talk to us about that?
Yeah, about 7 years ago, what Carpene wanted to do is show what you can do because they're famous for sparkling wine. So they wanted to do something outside the box and not just do a Prosecco. So to show what you can do with different types of sparkling wines. Rosé was the first one they made, and then a couple of years later they made a Kerner. Kerner is traditionally from northern Italy, southern Austria, that area there. Yeah. And it's actually a cross with the Riesling and Schiava grapes. That's the origin of Kerner. I think in the 20s somebody came up with it, but it's a cross between the Riesling and the Schiava. Schiava is also a grape that we have from Alto Adige.
Yes. And
the thing about this wine that I find from the first time I had it was fascinating is that it's brut, so it's very dry, but the initial part is fruity, and then it goes bone dry. It's really it's a very interesting grape. It's one of my favorites.
The taste or the bouquet notes of floral freesias and jasmine, with fruity notes of peaches and hints of citrus and undertone of mint, combined with a finish in the mouth of bitter almond notes. That is a very interesting package.
Yeah, because like I said, the first time when you smell it and you taste it, your first thing is more fruitiness. But then because it's brut, it really goes dry. So it's a great accompaniment with a lot of a variety of foods. Besides in the United States, we're more used to drinking sparkling wines for occasions, but it's really in Italy. It's really in Europe to be used with food. So we can have it with a meal, like even the rosé. It's great to have it with a meal. Things even with lobsters and risottos and things like that. Yum. It's just or salmon. Things obviously it has to have a little bit more taste, a little bit stronger fish, let's say. But even and the Kerner is just once you have it with a meal, it's just you keep on drinking it.
What are you going to be enjoying on Christmas Day? Is sparkling wine part of the ritual of your family celebration?
Yes, we have it for without doubt the appetizer, and then we come from the Marche area, so my mother makes those cappelletti, the little hats. I think that maybe you have the recipe for.
Yes.
Yeah, and in broth, so that's a tradition, and then. So we have sparkling, and then obviously for desserts we have sparkling red wines a lot of times with desserts.
Oh, what kind of sparkling red wines do you import?
Well, we actually I got some friends of mine who sent me some stuff because it's hard to get some of these things. But I like red wines. My brother and I love dessert wines or red wines.
Okay.
So we have our own Pergola Rosso, which is a floral dessert wine.
Yeah.
But also things like Ricciotto. I like Lacrima di Moro d'Alba. It goes really well with our desserts because we use it's called Arcamis. I think it's Arabic in nature. It's rose water with a lot of spices.
Oh yes, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and the Lacrima and the Pergola Rosso have kind of the same kind of qualities. So it's just like Italy's everything. Everything's very regional in Italy.
And who does all the cooking all day? Do you participate in the cooking?
I used to, quite honestly, but my mother does most of it, and my brother now does a little bit. But my mother, when it comes to Christmas, my mother does all that, all the cooking. I have to admit.
So, are you going to Italy for Christmas? Or are you staying?
No. Everybody's over here. I'm actually trying to go to Italy in January, and I haven't been there in a while. But we go back and forth quite a lot. We did Easter last year in Italy, so we go back and forth. It's a little more difficult with a 4-year-old.
Yes, of course.
But he's already been there 4 times. So.
In your household, do you speak Italian as well as English?
Yes, actually, we probably we speak more Italian, or as happens after a while, you speak half Italian, half English.
Like the Spanglish for people.
Yes, exactly.
The Italianish or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So let me ask you, I see that your Angelini Estate Sangiovese and the Carpene Malvolti wines are available in many, many states.
Yeah, we're pretty much, I think we're like 25 states or more. But now with the internet, it's really, the states are becoming, the borders are becoming less and less precise. So, so they're basically available nationwide nowadays.
So where can people go online to learn more?
Well, you can go to our website, angeliniwine.com, and then from there you can go to some of the links to some of the people that have the wine. But the other thing too is you can go to all your basic websites and look for Angelini, and then they'll direct you to the different websites. And
I'm in North Carolina, it is brought into North Carolina. So for people listening in North Carolina, they just go to their retailer and ask for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, Julius Angelini, this is such a pleasure meeting you. I thank you so very much, and I hope you have a delicious 2013.
Thank you for having me, and happy holidays to all your listeners out there.
We will have links up for you to learn more. And I thank you for listening to Wine and Dine, and have a delicious start to 2013. Yummy wines, great pricing, sparkling wines all through Christmas, all through New Year's Day. Watch football games while you're drinking sparkling wines instead of beer. Now you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine, on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWineRadio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes radio icon and scroll down to news and talk directory, and it's listed alphabetically. Click on that, and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there.